Hey everyone, Chandler here, and it recently came to my attention that non-binary people can be treated really horrible online and in person, and just there's so many negative experiences that we have just because we identify under the non-binary umbrella. And so I wanted to make a video featuring a ton of other non-binary YouTubers to really show why it's so important for us to keep speaking up and keep speaking out against this negativity.
Hi Chandler's audience, I am very excited to be here. My name is Katie, I'm from Australia, I identify as agender and my pronouns are they, them.
Hey, my name is Kaitlyn Alexander, my channel is RealisticallySaying, and I identify as non-binary and I use they, them pronouns. Fun fact.
Hey, what's up? My name is DumandsONE and I am bigender, agender, gender fluid. All three of these terms seem to fit with me the most. I use the pronouns they when it's in a formal sense, and I use he and she in real life depending on my friend that I'm talking to.
Hi, my name is Lainey. I identify as agender and my pronouns are they, them.
Hi guys, I'm Danny. I'm a YouTuber as well. You can find me on youtube.com/Dannivanloon. I am agender as well and my pronouns are they, them.
I first came out publicly a couple of months ago on Twitter/Instagram, and then about a month ago I finally did a gender tag video so I could come out to all of my viewers.
So I came out first publicly actually in a YouTube video before I had come out to anybody in my life at all. I was making a coming out video for being lesbian, which is how I identified at the time. And midway through filming this one take thing, I kind of like realized that I identified the way that a character that I play on a web series called Carmilla identified. That's when I first came out publicly. It was pretty terrifying because I did not know myself enough to probably say it at the time, and I didn't tell anybody in my life, so they kind of found out with the video, but what can you do?
I made a coming out video on my channel literally last month on the 5th of January. The closest I've come to coming out on social media sites where I'm in contact with close family and friends is by changing my pronouns on Facebook, but I don't think anyone's even noticed that. Though I do know of some people who know about my channel and might have watched my video but haven't said anything to me.
In August 2015, I posted a status on Facebook saying, guys, today I'm gonna have to tell you something about myself. And then I told everyone that I am agender. I did this in August because my new school year was starting in September and I was going to a new uni, and I just wanted to be out and have people know me by my chosen name and not my birth name. So that's why I came out like a week before I went to my new uni.
I first came out maybe 3-4 years ago, I'm not quite sure. I made a video about gender, making fun of the fact that everyone misgenders me, and at the time I wasn't really out because I didn't really understand that I was something, but I knew something was up. Over time, I sort of generally started to accept that I wasn't a binary or I wasn't cisgendered. And then, you know, it was a slow process into coming out.
I first came out publicly when I was 16 and I made the video, What is Agender? And it was really, really nerve-wracking for me.
The video I made received a lot of negative feedback as far as people saying that being non-binary is not real and is not valid, or that people who are non-binary are like special snowflakes, attention seeking, publicity stunt.
To be honest, people have been overwhelmingly positive. The most negative comments I got were on YouTube, and those were people saying I have some kind of mental disorder, that everyone has a gender and that agender doesn't exist.
Because I don't have a big audience and I know a lot of people who subscribe to me are already active in or supportive of the LGBTQ+ community, and also because so far I've only made one gender related video, I haven't received much negative backlash whatsoever. So far anything that could be considered negative is mostly just people being unsure and asking me questions and wanting to learn more. Part of the reason I'm terrified to come out to my family and people from my old school and people from my current school is just because I know that they're not going to understand and I'm going to have to explain it to them, which sometimes I interpret as a negative response to me coming out, because sometimes if you're not in a good mood or something's happening in your personal life or you're just having a stressful day, it can be really difficult to subject yourself to the same questions that you constantly get and you will get for the rest of your life until people have a decent understanding of non-binary genders.
I've received comments like, that's not real, that's idiotic, you're just a special snowflake, people spouting out my birth gender sometimes, people who are kind of like going like, you're clearly a boy. I received one comment where it was from someone I knew, and he basically said that he can agree with a lot of things, but he doesn't agree with that when I explained my identity.
People would say, oh, you're just doing it for attention, that's not real, you're either a girl or a boy, it's just a trend and you're trying to be cool and unique.
Some negative comments that I got when I first came out publicly were a lot, not in my life, well there was some in my life which have been resolved, but a lot online that like said that I was just a confused butch lesbian and refused to use my pronouns and just disregarded my identity completely, which was really harmful for me because I was still dealing with a ton of dysphoria that I had just come to terms with. And I was online and I was really public about it, and I was in a place where a lot of people were watching what I was doing, which I'm grateful for, but it was also terrifying. It still is, that I still get negative comments a lot. It's been a year now and it hasn't gone away, so I don't know.
I looked at all of the comments individually and decided for each and every one whether or not they got to stay. Like, if someone said something without being too rude or offensive, I would let it slide. But there were also people that were calling me horrible, awful names, and I deleted those because I don't need that negativity, and neither do my subscribers.
Honestly, I just had to brush it aside because I wasn't gonna let people stop me from being true to who I am, and I wasn't about to let people interfere with happiness that I had finally found, because I had struggled forever with my identity, and to finally be able to be comfortable with how I identify was something that was very important to me, and I wasn't about to let someone take that from me just because they didn't agree with me.
I was able to deal with the negativity just by kind of reminding myself that these people don't know me, they don't know how I feel, they don't know the fact that I've struggled with my gender and being comfortable with myself my entire life, and I don't think that they have any right to tell me who I am.
I deal with the negativity in a very joking way. I like to clown around and mess with people a lot, which, I mean, it could make me a bad person, but I think it's hilarious because you have people that are uneducated and ignorant, and then you have people who are educated about the subject and just are ignorant or being an asshole. Usually I like to mess with these people by just kind of like making jokes towards them.
If somebody asks me something invasive or something I'm not comfortable with purely because of lack of understanding and not meant to antagonize me, I will happily answer them. Well, I won't happily answer them because I still get uncomfortable when people respect me enough to ask about my gender.
I dealt with the negativity probably in the worst way possible. I read every comment there was and I took it really personally, which is something that I tend to do, which isn't really productive. But that's my honest answer. I wish I could say that I just like threw it all over my shoulder. I was like, yeah, it's fine, but it freaking got to me and I was in a really bad place for a while, and I'm lucky I had a support system, and I'm lucky that I'm not in that place anymore, but it was pretty bad.
Have I been misgendered after I came out? Of course. That's a given.
I've been misgendered probably every single day since I came out. And sometimes it's by accident, sometimes it is out of spite, but there are still people that don't misgender me, people that do honor my gender identity.
I have been misgendered so often. Of course, because people are still thinking in a gender binary.
I'm misgendered quite frequently, but I think that a lot of it is by people who genuinely don't know that I'm agender or don't know that I use they pronouns. Most of the time when people are corrected, they apologize and start using my correct pronouns. There are quite a few people who still use feminine pronouns for me as a malicious thing. And to those people, I usually just mute or block them because I don't want to see it.
The first time I came out online, which was through my video, somebody immediately afterwards tweeted about how great my video was in spreading awareness about gender, but then they used she, her pronouns in the tweet. And I just sort of thought, did you not watch the video that you just tweeted about where I specifically stated that my pronouns are they, them? I am misgendered constantly in real life.
I get misgendered probably on a daily basis, at least like 5 times a day. Whether in person or online. I feel very weird still about being like, hey, actually I don't identify as a female, so can you use my pronouns or they, them? Because then I have to explain grammar to people.
Non-binary people need to be confident and feel strong enough to speak out against the negativity and not be afraid to say, hey, like, this is who I am, and no one should be able to say that for me. And it's very important for us to be able to speak out against people thinking that we're not real and letting people know that we're here and you're not alone. Your feelings are valid.
People who are also non-binary feel represented and can see someone else living their life and doing just fine. I want to be visible. I want to be a visible person and show other people that I can be agender and still live my life and be successful. That's also one of the main reasons why I started making other videos besides LGBT videos as well, because I feel like me being agender is not the biggest thing about me. There's so much more to me than just my gender identity.
Everyone is going to assume something of you and assume you are this thing, and you need to be willing to correct them or educate them about the subject. And I think that it's the sense of, if we are constantly educating people and constantly being like, I am this, I exist, people are going to eventually recognize that it exists.
Because there's not a lot of representation for us in the media or online or basically anywhere. And it's important for other young non-binary people to see, to have representation in all forms. I know that when I was struggling with my gender, I didn't even really know non-binary was a thing.
If we as non-binary people are not open about our identities, there's no way that future generations or younger people or people our age or people older than us or anybody is going to be able to be accepting of their own identity. For pretty much 17 years of my life, I didn't know that non-binary genders existed.
People need to know that they're not broken. If there had been people when I was younger publicly talking about being non-binary and discussing that there's not just 2 genders, I would have saved myself years of just like pure torment. Like, I hated myself for a really long time. Just like everybody else needs voices, non-binary people need voices. Non-binary people need people to look up to and to see themselves in and know that they're not alone.
The best advice I could give other non-binary people who are coming out is to not let other people invalidate your gender. I know it can be really difficult.
Keep going strong. Don't really let it get to you, and know that you are valid, that you are a valid person.
I think it's really important to get away from that negative aura. That doesn't necessarily mean packing up and leaving the house. The typical response for this, I guess, would be to know that you're not alone and that there are other people out there like you. But also expanding on that, I think that it is really important to go out and meet people who identify similarly to yourself.
It's gonna be really hard, obviously, and obviously come out when you are safe and stuff like that. But you gotta work through it, because the more you work through it, the better it's going to be. Eventually, you're going to meet these wonderful people who are gonna treat you so well.
Don't, even though I said I let the comments get to me, don't let them get to you. I think the thing that I struggled the most with was realizing that my comfort in being myself and my comfort in accepting who I was far more important than everybody else's discomfort.
Know that you're not alone. Know that there are so many other non-binary people in this world, and your feelings are valid. And maybe people won't understand exactly what your gender identity is, but don't let that discourage you from being true to yourself, because we're gonna raise awareness and people are gonna finally see us for who we really are, rather than trying to define us as something we're not. I really hope you like this video. Please, please, please check out all of the other YouTubers in this video. I really love all of them so much. I will leave annotation links to them, and I will leave all of their links to their channels down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching.